Hey guys, this is Zebra Girl, and today I'm bringing you part 10 of Static and Love. I'm getting really sad that we're coming to the end of the story, but new story will be coming soon, so no need to worry about that. This chapter is called Little Miss Troublemaker. It again had been some days until you were huge again. You sat on the sofa. You were sitting on the sofa when Lucas walked in and sat next to you. Lucas now looked like a 7-year-old. "Can I feel your belly again, Mom?" "Sure." Mark was reading the silver book again, and Doc was fast asleep. Lucas put his hand on your belly, only to feel a tiny hand against his. Then you felt pain down on your legs, but you didn't scream. You just said, It's time again." You laughed as you started to breathe in and out. Mark placed the book down and sat next to you and held your hand and helped you on the carpet again. "Go wake up your dad and stay in that room, okay?" Lucas nodded and ran into the room, making Dark sit up. What is it?" Dark, he was still half asleep. "Mom's gone into labour." He quickly jumps out of the bed and runs to you. "Does it hurt? Are you okay?" "Yeah. I'm fine." You were breathing in and out while Mark was holding your hand. Dark then went between your legs to see how far the baby was. "I can see the head. Keep going." You pushed again, and again, and again. You were out of breath, but you were alive this time. The child started to cry, and Dark lifted her up to you and handed her to you. Dark cut the cord again. "It's a little girl. Can I name her Molly?" She cooed as a yes. "Sure." Dark thought of a moment and then said, "Scarlett." The little girl had pink hair and a brown eye and a pink swirly eye. Dark looked confused as he stood up and got his book out to see what type of child she was, and he sat next to you. "Mark, what's wrong?" He smiled and looked at you. "Nothing's wrong. She just has chaos powers, that's all." Dark's eyes widened. Scarlett then wiggles her finger and a bottle of chocolate milk appears, and she begins to suckle. "See? She can make this appear just by thinking about it." And it also says when they start to grow up, they become a nightmare to keep under control, as they are really hyper all the time. Really hyper very quickly. And with chaos powers, if they go in a tantrum, they could destroy the house. You smile and look at Scarlett still sucking on the chocolate milk. She is perfect, with or without chaos powers. Then Lucas walked into the room. "Do I get a brother or sister?" "A sister called Scarlett. She has powers too." Lucas giggles. Then he looks at Scarlett. She looks back, and her eye begins to swirl, only for a pie to fall on top of Lucas that was filled with whipped cream. Then Scarlett laughed. Lucas let out a sigh. "Really? This is going to be so cool." Then they all started to laugh, but the laughter didn't last. Time skip 3 weeks. Everyone was looking for Scarlett. "Scarlett, where are you?" Mark asked. "Over here," she said. He ran at her, only for her to laugh and go through the wall and end up somewhere else. "Got you! You little Miss Troublemaker!" shouted Dark, bringing her out of yours and Dark's room. Dark was tickling her as she laughed. Daddy, stop! Stop it! He continued to tickle her. Then you came out of Lucas's room. So, you caught her then? You said out of breath. Yeah. She was using her wall teleport power again. Mummy, tell Daddy to stop tickling me or I'll get out feathers to tickle him. You look at Dark with a serious face. Okay, fine. Dark puts down Scarlett, only to turn around and hold her hand out, and she made loads of pink feathers start to tickle Dark. Stop! Stop it, that tickles! Scarlett continues to laugh at her dad, then she yawns as she sits on the floor rubbing her eyes. Then the feathers disappear. I'm sleepy, Mommy. You walk over to her and pick her up. She looks at you and her swirly eye turned purple, showing that she was tired. Someone has worn themselves out, haven't they? Scarlett giggled as you placed her into the bottom bunk in Lucas's room. He was worn out from trying to catch her. I'm going to bed too, Mom. You two have a nice night. Scarlett then made a bottle of chocolate milk appear, because it helps her get to sleep, even though she is 5 years old. You exit the room in a huff as you, Dark and Mark all made your way to the living room and sat on the sofa all at the same time. I think she's becoming more hyper. Mark looks at you. You think? She made 3 pies fly into my face, made a 5-stack cake and used it as a playground, getting icing everywhere, giving us the runaround with all her powers and tickling Dark until she got tired. Dark laughed. She is great though. She also made a 3-headed puppy appear for me, you and her. We're all playing with it while Mark was making videos. Oh, that was the sound of the barking. You all laughed as you all fell asleep. You all woke up to see Scarlett sitting on the sofa, but something wasn't right. You were on the ceiling. You were such a little troublemaker, Scarlett, you say. She looked up and giggled. You all look so funny up there. As you stood up, you got on all fours. As Scarlett stood up, she got on all fours and put her head through the floor, and her head appeared through the ceiling. Hey, Mommy! You kissed her on the cheek. Do you think you can put us down so I can make us breakfast? She shook her head in excitement as she released everyone, slowly going to the ground. Thank goodness, I thought I was going to be sick. Scarlett giggled at Dark for saying that, and he suddenly picked her up. Come here, you! She laughed as you hear a scream. It was Lucas. Mom, Scarlett tied me up again. Come on, you, let your brother go. She sighed as she clicked her fingers and you hear a thud. Ow! Lucas said as he hit the ground and walked out rubbing his arm. You walk over to him to see his pyjamas had holes in them, and he had small burnt marks on his arm. Are you okay, Lucas? He had a tear running down his face. You felt his arm and kissed the wound to heal it. He smiled and hugged you. You and Lucas came into the living room as Scarlett looked at you with a confused face. It's cool to play pranks every now and again, Scarlett, but you must never ever hurt the people that you're pulling them on. She looked like she was about to cry. I didn't mean to. They were meant to keep him warm, not hurt him. Then a rain cloud appeared over her head, and it started to rain as she started to cry. Lucas went over to her and hugged her. She stopped crying. I know you didn't mean to hurt me, but next time, don't put the heat on. Then she hugged him back. I'm sorry, big brother. Then a pie fell on his head. He stopped hugging her as she giggled at what she did, and he smiled, tasting the pie. Cherry. You all smile as Lucas and Scarlett went back to their bedroom to play. Dark and Mark sat next to you. Then Dark asks, "What if she can make those chains heat up and burn skin? What else could she do when she gets older?" Mark then looked over at Dark and you. Chaos powers are always different. For all we know, she could summon knives and kill someone, or she could summon a giant gummy bear, a gummy worm, that loves you or something. You sit up. She isn't a bad child, though. She's just a little troublemaker. Mark puts his hand on your shoulder. You don't want her to turn to another version of him, do you? You look at Mark with an angry expression. How could you even say that? She isn't a monster like him. Dark then hugged you and looked at Mark with a sad face. I'm sorry for saying that, but I speak the truth. What if she wants to kill someone when she grows up? I mean, her father is a crazy demon angel after all. You all look at Mark with worried eyes that he could be right. She is only here because of what he did to me. He did it the first time and I realised I was pregnant again. But after every time he did it, I could feel myself getting weaker. But she kept me alive, knowing that I could have another happy child. Dark is her real father, not that monster. Dark smiles and hugs you. I'm very sorry, I shouldn't have said that to you. Then Dark joins in on the hugging. It's okay, and I know you could be right, but we're gonna raise her not to be evil like him. Then a little voice came from the darkness. Who is him, Mommy? You all look around to see nothing. Up here, silly. Dark looked up to see her head poking out of the ceiling. Then you and Mark looked up. Come on and sit on Mummy's lap for a sec. She climbed out of the portal and jumped down onto the floor, and you pick her up on her lap. How old are you, sweetie? I'm 5 years old, Mummy, she said with a smile. Would you like to hear the truth about Mummy and Daddy? She looked confused and then turned her head and looked at Dark. And she smiled and she looked back. What is it, Mommy? Now listen to me carefully. We will always love you no matter what, okay? Yep. Dark isn't your real daddy. She looked confused again. Who is my daddy then? His name is Wolford Wolfstache, and he's a very bad man. Why is he bad, Uncle Mark? He is bad. He is bad because of what he has done to people and what he did to Mommy. What did he do? He likes to hurt people for fun and likes to put them to sleep for a long time. And what he did to Mommy, I can't say, but even though it wasn't love when me and him created you, I will always love you no matter what, okay? Was I a mistake? Then Dark picked her up and placed her on his lap. Listen to me, Scarlett. Even though Wolford is your real daddy, he can never love you like me, Mummy, or Uncle Mark do. You're my little girl, and you always will be. And if you're older, and if you would like to see him, I will happily take you, okay? She smiled and hugged Dark. You will always be my real daddy. And I don't want to know a bad person like him. You then joined in on the hug, and then so did Mark. You began to cry when Scarlett wiped away the tears with a hanky that she made appear. Come on, you. It's bedtime. Who would you like to take you? She looked up at Dark. I want Daddy to take me, please. He picks her up and takes her to her room. You and Mark look at each other and smile. She handled that quite well, didn't she? She sure did. Now let's hope that Wolford doesn't know that she exists. You hugged Mark as you and him walked into your rooms, and then Dark entered your room. And you and both got dressed ready for bed. You both lie down and started to kiss. And you both didn't sleep for some time. Poor Scarlett, knowing that her dad's a murderer. But for a 5-year-old, she took it rather well. Let's just hope she never turns evil, huh? Okay, that was part 10 of Static and Love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!